Hi everyone, welcome to the 21-22 Health and Wellness training video for school-based reps. If you are new, you are probably meeting with me live, Zoom, so that we can go over this PowerPoint. But if you are a veteran health and wellness rep, then simply watch the video and look for any revised or new information that might pertain to you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and minimize myself here, and let's get started. Again, for those of you who are new or haven't done this in a while, remember there's a couple of reasons we have school-based health and wellness committees. One is that we have a policy. Two, MSDE mandates it. But three, more importantly, we recognize that good nutrition, healthy eating, and physical activity are essential to students' academic and overall success. If you, there's two roles that you might play. You might be the health and wellness coordinator, which means you primarily work in the staff health and wellness arena, or you might be a PAL, which is a physical activity leader, and that means that you will primarily focus on student health and wellness. In a few schools, I think only one or two, there's only one rep, and that means you'll do both. And you might share the responsibility. You might simply break it down the center even. So what do you do as a health and wellness rep? You will lead your health and wellness committee. Schools vary in sizes of committees. Some have 3 to 5 people on their committee, some have 15. Obviously, the more members of the committee you have, the more help you can get in implementing your action plan. You'll work with your administration to offer opportunities for students and staff. You will write and take the lead on implementing your school's action plan, and then you'll work with myself, Tom Zimmer, the PE coordinator, and central office staff to also help implement your plan. So how do you create the plan, right? You need data. You need information to find out what does your school need in terms of health and wellness. In the OneDrive that is shared with you, and if you still need the link, email me, there are 3 to 4 different pieces of information where you can collect data. The first is called the Maryland Wellness Scorecard. Basically, you will sit down with your committee and you will take a look at these different measures and find out where your school is. Do you have this measure already in place? Is it partially in place? Are you still developing, or is it not in place at all? And you will mark that in the assess column. Then you'll take a look at the things that are either not in place or developing, and you'll prioritize those as potential items that you can put in your action plan. This is a really great way for you to see what does your staff value. You can have your entire staff do this, just your committee, just your admin, that's up to you. The other thing that you can look at is your school's progress on health and wellness and your school's report from the 2018-19 school year. Now, we haven't had this in 2 years because of COVID, but on our website, where it is required to be, you will find every school, their overall grade, how many goals were met, and your action plan score, along with a narrative that explains how you got that score. Now, our schools do well, generally A, B, C+, at the lowest, and there's many reasons for that. Don't feel bad if you're not an A+ school. This just happens to be at the top of the alphabet. But you can also get information about kind of where you left off in your health and wellness journey at your school. The third piece is called the MWPP Worcester Report. It's the Maryland Wellness Policies and Practices Project, and every 2 years this gives us awesome information about our county as a whole. I'm going to slide down here to some of these pretty integral pieces. You can take a look at all these different indicators and find out how did we score in the 16-17 school year, which is the last time they gave it, and how we scored years before that. So you'll see areas where we've made vast improvement, and you'll see areas where we still have a lot of work to do. But this is another great resource for you to find out what potentially could be your goals. You must have 4 goals, and they should target students and staff. How you divide that up is up to you, and your goals need to be SMART goals: specific, measurable, agreed upon, realistic, and time-based. And be creative. Use some outside-of-the-box thinking when it comes to what your goals might look like. Also in the shared drive, you will find the template for the action plan and the rubric. Before you write your action plan, please review the rubric. That kind of backwards planning, which we do in the classroom with our students, right? Where do we want to end up? and then we work backward from there, is essential because your plan is what you'll be scored on. So please take a look at those things, and that's what you'll fill out and send to me. At the end of the year, you'll need to provide one piece of documentation for each goal to show that that goal was implemented, whether you met the goal or not. So it might be a photo, it might be a copy of a flyer, an email, a news article, something like that. Let's talk about deadlines. The action plan is due to me electronically, please, by October 15th. It's about 2 weeks away. If you need more time, just let me know. I'm flexible. In January, I'll send another short video along with a one-page report where you can tell me how your progress is going, what goals have you met, which ones have you not met, what challenges are you facing, etc. And then hopefully we'll be able to meet face-to-face in June for you to turn in your action plan, your documentation, score your plan, and then write your narrative, which is what will be posted on our county website. All right, let's talk money. In the past, there have been stipends. There is an extra duty pay position for health and wellness reps. Remember, if there are 2 of you, you either have to split the money or you can alternate years that you accept the money. So one of you can get the full extra duty pay this year, the other one next year, and so on and so forth. The other thing you may do instead of being paid is request 3 MSDE credits. So at the end of the school year, you would supply me with documentation, a binder, a folder, that shows 45 hours worth of work. That's 15 hours per 1 credit. And I can submit credits for you to get those MSDE credits for renewal of your certificate. As far as MOI, or materials of instruction, unfortunately, we don't have a budget for health and wellness, but you might want to talk to your administrators. They may have a small pot that you can pull from. But what we do have again this year is the $1,000 in Care First credits. Care First credits are not money, but a way for you to get services for the staff members at your school. Linked to this PowerPoint, you will see the credit request form, you will see the Wellness Services Pricing Guide, and the catalog of services. If you have questions about those documents and they have been updated, please let me know. Please don't use the old guides and catalogs because the prices will be different. Now, unfortunately, Ashley was going to send me a video. Ashley Freed is our Care First rep. This is her 2nd year with us, and she's fantastic, very accessible by phone, video, or email. She was going to get me a video to link here, but unfortunately time got away from her, so I apologize. But she will be in contact with each of you. If you don't want to use the Care First credits for your school, please let me know right away, because there are a few schools that would like to have extra because they have a large staff. Some of the things that she can do or provide are tutorials on Zoom about ShareCare, which is a great benefit for teachers and staff. She can do cooking demo videos, fitness class videos, virtual walking clubs, etc. I have asked her if we could potentially get a list of people in the community who are willing to come and do in-person activities. We can do that as long as they complete the community partner agreement. Your administrators have that, and it just says, yes, this community partner has agreed to our safety protocols. Another resource this year is the American Heart Association. They have reached out and want to play a bigger role in our health and wellness journey. So they are willing to do videos, help with after-school programs. They have a mini grants section. They are the individuals who formerly did our jump rope for heart at the elementary schools, and now the elementary schools, you're doing the Kids Heart Challenge. It's awesome. And if you click on this video here, you'll see one of their reps, Kate Poole, talking to us about what they can do and how you can be in touch to help. You're also the Stall Talk rep, so please make sure they're on your way to the school by, for example, the October ones are coming to you. Please make sure that they are replaced in the men's and women's bathrooms, staff bathrooms each month, and that you send the tube back to Diane Herney, my assistant, so she can refill it for the next month. Again, please reach out to any of the people on this list that you might be able to ask for help. Our emails and extensions are on here. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks, guys.